Hello everybody, I was going to do a little video tonight. Had a pretty nice evening. It's no wind and a little bit of overcast, so it's a little bit cooler. It actually feels like it's trying to rain, but I thought this would be a good time to just do a quick video. Got a new gun I was going to share with you guys, and pretty tickled with it. It's the Ruger SR22. Just bought this gun recently, pretty much for my wife. I don't shoot a lot of 22s, I probably should shoot more. She recently got some interest in shooting them, and we do a lot of shooting around here. I have 3 daughters and my wife. None of them really have much interest in shooting handguns. My wife's kind of taking some interest in it, so I've handed her full-size 9mm, and she broke her wrist a few years ago, and she just said it causes pain in her wrist. So we ended up getting her this 22. What a dandy little gun. Tickled pink with this gun. Super lightweight. Of course, it's 22, 10-round mag. So for me, I have been recently showing a lot more interest in the exposed hammer guns. So this one's a little different setup. The way the grip is, it feels really good in your hand. Of course, it's got the ambidextrous decocker, and these are the guns I've been kind of gravitating to lately. And so with this SR22, I felt like this was a great training tool for some of these other guns. So this guy, CZP07, I'm going to do a video on this. I'm not going to shoot it today, but this is a phenomenal gun. A good friend of mine was talking about 9mm the other day, and I told him, I says, you know, I don't believe I'll ever buy another 9mm that's not a CZ. I like this gun that much. When I went to buy it, I was convinced I was going to buy the old CZ75. I think the only difference between this gun and the 75 essentially is a polymer frame versus a steel frame. But anyway, my thought process is, if my wife is comfortable, or my daughters, any of them, with this SR22, they understand how the slide works, slide stop, they release the slide, decock, the gun's now double action. The CZ operates the same way. Slide back, decocker on this side, essentially the same place, decock the hammer, now it's in double action. So my theory on this, and this is, like I say, this is just all my personal opinion, is if this gun right now was loaded and hot, which it's not loaded, but if it was, you are never going to accidentally make that gun go off. The difficulty it takes to cock that hammer, that's not an accidental motion. There's got to be some, you're putting it into a holster, whatever the case may be, that is not ever accidentally going to go off mechanically. I mean, to me, that's as safe a gun as what a person could carry. CZ75, same thing. The gun's empty, decock. Now you're carrying the gun. Hypothetically, the gun's hot right now. You're not going to accidentally bump that trigger and make it go off. First trigger, double action. Same as the SR22, double action. So the striker fire folks, my son is one of them, would argue that it's very difficult to shoot that gun accurately because the first trigger pull is much different than the following trigger pulls. I can't argue that. So here's a SIG 320. This is the mid-size frame. Got a couple of these. Really like these. These are great guns. Of course, no safety on these. Striker fire, and this SIG 320 probably has the best striker fire trigger on the market. I would say better than Glocks, Springfields, Smith & Wessons. But to me, that's not much effort to make that go off. I know for me personally, I'm clumsy enough that I could see myself carrying this gun hot. You could accidentally bump that trigger and have an accidental discharge. I don't carry this gun for that reason. Now, there's some folks out there, I got some real good friends, really good gun people. They're safe, they're very avid. They carry in what I call condition 2. The magazine is full, chamber's empty. And their theory is, if they need to pull the gun, they pull it, rack the slide, now they're ready to fire. for me, I know that I'm not that quick on my feet to do something like that. If I was in a panic, high stress situation, I think I would fumble that so bad that it could be a disaster. So I love the the SIG 320s, phenomenal guns, great triggers. This is not the gun that I carry. That's why I went to these exposed hammer double actions. I've got 2 or 3 of these. I got a SIG and a 45, really like. It's the P227. Really like that gun. Really like this CZ. Got an old school Smith. Kind of gravitated toward these. So when I stumbled across this Ruger, I thought this is the perfect training tool. So we're kind of doomsday preppers around here. If the zombies ever come, I can hand my wife or my daughters a CZ and say, this works exactly like your 22. The SR22. So, and I think they'd be very comfortable with that. So anyway, we're gonna do some shooting with it today. I've only put 100 or 200 rounds through it. The guy I bought it from says these guns are super reliable after about 500 rounds. He recommended CCI mini mags. For whatever reason, they've been available lately. They're not cheap, but they're available. So I'm gonna put a couple hundred rounds. I'm gonna shoot a couple groups on paper, kind of show you guys what this thing's capable of accuracy-wise. All right, guys, so I got just 6 rounds in the gun right now. I'm gonna shoot 2 3-shot groups down on paper. We'll walk down and have a look at them. So I'm shooting in single action, just because I'm this is accuracy. I want to shoot 2 3-shot groups as accurate as I can. Slide held back good. All right, we'll walk up and have a look at it. You know, I said earlier in the video, I don't shoot 22s much, and I don't, and I probably should more with the price of ammo and availability of ammo. The guy probably, just to have fun, should be shooting 22s more. But anyway, I don't, probably will, hopefully start. So not a bad group on these. I'll flip the camera around. So there's the first 3 shots, about a 2-inch group. That one's maybe 2.5. That was the second 3 shots. They're shooting just a little bit. Well, it's about point of aim. That's about where I'm aiming. I usually shoot them a little bit of a 6 o'clock sight picture, so I usually will hold up here. For what we're doing with this gun, I think that'll be just fine. Like I say, I'm shooting mini mags today. The guy at the gun shop, I've done a lot of business with him over the years. Said he's worked there for 27 years. Said he bought this exact gun for his daughter, and he says these guns are ultra reliable about after 500 rounds. And so I thought, well, I just bought some of these CCIs, gonna put a few hundred rounds through it, try to clean it a couple times. I'm not sure the gun's ever jammed. Like I said, I maybe put 100 rounds through it, 1 to 200, but yeah, I'm tickled with the groups on it. I mean, it's a small gun, it ain't a target gun. Shooting those kind of groups at that range, I'm plumb happy with it. So we'll just set up and shoot a little steel. All right, got the first magazine loaded. We'll see if we can hit some steel. Boy, that 10 rounds goes fast. This gun's super easy to hit with. It really is. I'm really tickled with this gun. A couple things I like about it. As you guys can see, there's a pretty big slide right there for your thumb to sit on. So when you're loading it, it's a little easier on your thumb. You can just grab it and bring that slide down. So I'm real tickled with this gun. Like I say, I've kind of talked about the training side of this for novice shooters. I honestly believe that if a person that hasn't had much experience shooting wanted to get into their first handgun, this would be a great candidate for it. Like I say, I really like the double action. That's really what I'm leaning toward for myself. So we'll shoot a few more rounds. pretty hard to ask for anything better than that as far as reliability of the gun. Like I say, I'm shooting mini mags today. I think mini mags are kind of known for being a little bit more of a premium gun, 22 shell. I honestly have not shot a lot of mini mags. Worked with a guy in Wyoming for a few years. He swore by them. He says, I don't care what they cost, they're the best 22 shell. You get what you pay for with 22 shells. So I don't know, like I say, after the recommendation of the gun shop, this is what, I think this might be the first batch of mini mags I've ever owned. Just because I'm a tightwad and I like cheap, good ammo. Maybe there's no such thing as cheap, good ammo. I don't know. I think that was the first malfunction of the gun right there. The slide just held back. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know. That's why we're putting a few rounds through it. I'm going to shoot a couple rounds double action. The trigger pull on the double action is good. I wouldn't say it's great. It has a little bit of that stacking feel to it, but I think it'll loosen up. There again, I don't think it's bad enough to really even what you'd call a problem. I'm not sure what I'm doing, but that's the second time in this mag that has held open. And what I'm doing is I'm hitting the decocker every time to shoot in double action. So see that the safety's on, the hammer went down. I'm not sure if that's a little quirk, if I'm actually hitting that slide maybe while I'm, because my thumb's so big. I don't know if you guys can see it well, but if I'm hitting the slide, release, and the safety at the same time, I might be doing that. I'm going to shoot another mag through it and see if it does that again. I got a feeling I was hitting that slide stop when I was monkeying with that safety, and maybe causing that to engage that slide. I'm sure that's what it feels like anyway. I try to practice that double action with these double action autos. Hope you guys seen my video, my 629. I did some double action shooting. That's a challenge right there. 44 Magnum shooting double action. To get very fast with it. Of course, Jerry Michelik's the superhuman that can do it. But I tried it here. I could shoot it pretty accurate. The loads I was shooting with that were real mild. They weren't full house loads, but shooting double action, whether it's these semi-autos or revolvers, can be a ton of fun. Something a little bit more of a challenge. So this time I'm just gonna get the gun in action, try to shoot it fairly fast and see if I have any malfunctions. Yeah, I think I must have been hitting that slide stop. Anyway, dandy little gun. Highly recommend that. I'd highly recommend that for someone's first gun. Like I say, for 22, my wife, I think my daughters haven't shot that gun yet. They don't have any of them home right now, but I think this would be the right gun for someone like that. So anyway, I'm gonna keep shooting here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the subscribe button.